On me.
I took care of it all too. The one little spot I missed.
He's got it on video. Look.
Oh, I got the right read for you. I didn't think of that. Rocky with that. I would never do that. I would never do that.
Why would a guy be embarrassed by that?
I'm sorry you got splashed earlier. I seen that. That was not cool.
I wasn't splashed. I got dunked.
So we have, huh?
These two cameras.
Yep. Yeah, so feel free to speak loud because we're doing audio too.
Okay.
And we have the band behind us. Now, I already asked you my good questions about unicorns and yogurt before, so we'll skip that unless you're really gung-ho on wanting to answer those again. Let's go to some of the basics. Now, you first started getting popularity with Biohazard. I think that's where a lot of people know you from. And what was the transition like going from Biohazard and basically starting anew?
You know, I often tell people through this. Are you okay, Kylie? Somebody grab her.
You just kill. I tried.
You know, for me, like, it was a long time coming that I really wanted to reinvent myself as a melodic metal singer and to do something that was something different that felt bigger. And you know, I'm so proud of the body of work I created with Biohazard. I did 10 albums and hundreds of tours. I played over 4,000 concerts in over 100 countries. And I really felt like I took Biohazard as far as it could go. I mean, the band's peak was 1995. And I gave it another 15 years after that. You know, because the fans love to reminisce and live on the old moments, but I'm not the kind of person who wants to write a memoir just yet. You know, I didn't think this was the greatest thing that I could do. I felt like it was something I'm very proud of. It was my story of a man that I started as a teenager on drugs in Brooklyn and grew out of that, you know. And while I stand firmly by all the lyrics that I wrote and all the songs that I wrote, creatively I felt really stifled and stuck. And what's great about Attica 7 is that there are no rules. You know, I can do a speed metal song, I can do a ballad, I can do hip hop, I can do anything, you know. And I think the guys in the band are all really just jazzed to be playing together, and everybody's very open-minded. So for me, I didn't want to do something just like Biohazard, because nothing fucking irks me more than when you go get the Serge Zajenkian album, however you say his name, and it's just System of a Down, but now he gets all the money. That's like a rip-off to your fans. I wanted to do something that showed like my influences, going back to my roots, going to the fundamentals of Black Sabbath and Pantera and early Metallica and Godsmack and Danzig and the Misfits and bands that I love, and kind of doing it in my own kind of heavy way. Like sometimes I'm playing and I feel like you can listen to this song and tell that Evan Seinfeld likes Slayer and Dio. You know, there's no rhyme or reason to it, just I'm a fucking metal fan, you know, and I feel really honored just to be able to be part of something like Mayhem, the album. It's just huge.
Now, with everything that you've done, what would be your top 3 highlights of your life in general?
Oh, that's hard, you know. I'm old, so I have a lot of memories, and I've had a lot of, you know, triumphs and defeats, you know. I mean, you know, I could look at my lifeline and say, you know, getting sober, you know, becoming a dad, you know, things like that. I can look at, you know, forming a band like Biohazard and creating the body of work that we created. I can look at, you know, my acting career and say, oh, you know, being a cast member of Oz for, you know, 5 years, 6 seasons. I don't look at individual things like that. To me, life is a series of moments that are kind of strung together by your intentions and your will, you know. So, you know, I still do a lot of different things, you know. Besides playing Attica 7, I have a TV show coming out, an online TV show that may or may not be on terrestrial TV in the future, but it's called Badass TV, and we cover heavy metal, tattoo, muscle car, hot rods, just basically, you know, white trash fantasy.
Nice.
And then I also manage my wife's music group, which is called the Ex-Girlfriends, which is a pop group that's basically, they were just on Entertainment Tonight about a month ago, that talking about how her new music video, What You're Looking At, has more views than the Will.i.am, Justin Bieber, I've Got the Power. And they're signed to major labels, they're huge stars, and she's unknown. So I got my hands in a bunch of different things, plus me and Rusty from my band are working on a bunch of projects together, television stuff, video stuff, building motorcycles, whatever, you know. I can't look at any one thing and go, this is a highlight. I can just say that I'm very grateful for all the opportunities that I've had in my life. I continue to try to push and make new ones. And, you know, just to do creative things and to be inspired and to try to inspire other people.
Nice. Now, one of the things that we touched on before, and I was curious to ask you more about, you had your adult site that you do. Now, how did you originally get started with that, and how do you feel about where it's progressed to?
Well, I mean, the adult industry, you know, is a lot like the music industry. People don't really pay for the content anymore, so I never really cared about the porn business. To me, it was kind of like a big joke that I was even doing it. I was just like, look at me, I'm having a few laughs, you know. I've always been like a sexually open person, and while I'm not active in the industry anymore, I was kind of like, this was my little thing, like to show my friends, like, look, I'm living the life most men dream of. I built a few websites, had a few laughs, made a few bucks. It's interesting because porn has kind of become free, so it's not a business I really want to be involved in anymore. It's also a really kind of thankless industry that, with the exception of the Free Speech Coalition, doesn't support itself. It doesn't regulate itself very well, and you know, it's an industry that treats people like expendable pieces of garbage. So
That is very true.
I really haven't been actively involved in a couple of years, but you know, people love it.
Now, with everything you've done, do you have any goals that you would like to do in the future that you have not gotten to so far? Like, if you could do anything?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things that I still want to do in my life that I really haven't started. You know, I'm trying to do more acting. You know, I really want to do film. And I also want to direct. I mean, I direct music videos, and I've done a ton of music videos. And
What are some of the music videos you've done?
I've directed both videos for the Ex-Girlfriends that have over 60 million views. I did several Biohazard videos. I just did an Attika video. I've done videos for some other bands. But I really would like to do like a really edgy feature film that leaves people with feeling something inside, like something in between, like something original, you know, something that when you watch a movie, like something between Pulp Fiction and Inception, where you're like, fuck, at the end of it, you know.
Yeah.
But really character driven, not like special effects. I don't want to make movies with big robots going. I want to make movies about people who look you right in the eye when they talk to you and make you scared, you know. I mean, I love what Rob Zombie's doing in his movies, but I would never make movies like he does. You know, mine would be about real scary things. You know? Not like your nightmare, but your living nightmare. I also really love football, and I'd like to get involved someday with something with the NFL or with coaching in high school football. I don't know. That's just the only thing that I love that I'm not involved with. Everything else that I do, you know, I have around me. Tattoo culture. I host tattoo conventions. You know, I have a TV show about it, cars and bikes, and all the things that are my hobbies. You know. Also, I like to give back, and you know, I work with a few charities. I'm involved with a charity called Road Recovery that helps young people get sober and stay clean through the power of musicians and music. And I work with a lot of great people, and I've been very blessed to get to perform with guys like Jerry Cantrell and Perry Farrell and Iggy Pop and Slash and carry a positive message to young people.
Let's do this, man!
Now, as far as tattoos go, obviously you have a lot of them. What would be like your top 3 favorite that you have?
Well, probably my new head tattoo that Paul Booth just did. It's my Reaper. It's right there to remind me to live life each moment as if it were my last, because he's coming, whether I like it or not. I also love this tattoo I have on my fingers of my wife's name, because I love her so much. And I got a tattoo on my neck of my son's name. I mean, to me, I'm just tattooed. They're all little reminders for a guy who forgets a lot of shit.
Now, is there anything that we haven't got to that you want to plug? Things coming up, things you're working on, things that people can look for in the future?
Well, of course, the Attika 7 Blood of My Enemies album is available for free download at revolvermag.com
Nice.
or attika7.com. We are finishing up. We've got 5 shows left on the Rockstar Energy Drink Mayhem Fest. After this, one of our songs, Devil's Daughter, is on the radio. In my entire music career, I've never had a song on the radio. So there are 5 major cities that are playing our 5 of the biggest rock stations in America are playing it. So call your local radio station, tell them you want to hear Devil's Daughter.
Nice. Any advice for musicians starting out?
Be uncompromising, follow your heart, don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do, because then you'll just be like everybody else.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I actually have one of my books for you, Key Gangsters. It's one of my older ones. It's my pre-Johns Hopkins work. It's a series of short stories, but I figured you might appreciate the cover. That's my artwork.
Very cool.
Back from my younger,
so much for
sexier
a gift.
days.
I love to read.
No problem.
I have ADD, so either I will read the whole thing in one shot, or it won't make sense that I'm a
Well, it's short stories, so you can pick and choose.
Short stories are probably better for me.
Yeah.